and they cancelled it. But nowadays, companies don't do that. They don't typically cancel games unless something dramatic happens. There's Kyle. Come on, bloody Kyle. I'm gonna chase Kyle for a while. A place that no one's ever been. Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warcraft Horde Part 2. So yeah, as you, hopefully some of you know, this is the companion with the Alliance side of it, and it's time to crank out some more Horde time, and trying to get my bearings where I was at last time. Alright, so I think we were planning to fly back. Yeah, we're flying back and get some quests and see if we can get this guy a little bit further than the Alliance one. But we'll see. Let's crank into it. So thanks for all that watched the last one. My love for WoW is coming back with doing these. So the more I do, the more fun, the funner, the more I enjoy WoW again. There's little kind of nuggets, and this zone is one of my favorite zones. Just how luscious and unique the Torrent zone is. I can't wait if we ever get to the high mountain area. I haven't cranked that a lot. Obviously that's a while away, and this coffee is very cold, and that's not a good sign. I always put honey in my coffee. My olds make some, well, they have their own bee hive. So I get my own little free honey, and it tastes really good. Organic honey. Always crank into it. Alright, so what's the plan? What's the plan here? Well, we'll hand in that quest over here. And my next stage is kind of spread, so I kind of want to figure out the strategy of what we do. We'll probably go like around here. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Figure it out as we go. With my little Horde shirt. I will be wearing this every play of the Horde side. I love my shirts and stuff. I need to get more WoW related material when I play these games. If you notice, I'll always look off camera because my screen is there. My camera is like here of the recording, while the camera's actually there. I'm not very good at making eye contact as it is. Social anxiety. That's why I do these things, to try and break that mold. Now there's gonna be, as I said with the Alliance one, the early stages is a lot of running, a lot of walking. And it's not that interesting. I love the new character models though. I haven't appreciated them as much as I probably should. Alright. Let's pick up this one. Oh, you have to freaking run after. Anyway. Kyle. Bloody Kyle. Where's it running off? Alright, so we kind of want to... Whoa. That was really loud. I do apologize for that. That was Reddit for you. Ow, my ear. Ow. Should really turn off Reddit notifications. I don't even use Reddit that much. God, that was loud. I do apologize for that. Oh, the grind. I mean, the grind is a lot easier than it used to be. I'm a very solo player when it comes to WoW too. I have been in guilds before. I remember one of when I used to have a guild in New Zealand and we played a lot. We used to catch up in real life, and it was a good experience. But that led me to the time I got arrested, which we'll go into that another time. That's not a story I'm ready to have out to the masses. But I'm not ashamed of it or anything. Well, I'm a little bit ashamed. Yeah, I'm ashamed of it. But there was no severe consequences came out of it. I'll just allude to this story. So if we make another Horde part, I'll tell everyone about the story I got arrested. It's not something I want to talk about. Oh, anyway. I think that's one of the annoying parts of being low level without a mount. You kind of just have to walk to the next guy. A lot of whacking. I want to hit them with my mallet. I love warriors. Just feels so satisfying. Not having much luck with these cougars. Isn't that true? It's just life. Just the game is representing my life. Never any luck with the cougars. Alright, so we nearly got all the plane structures. We finally got that. The cougars. I finally finished with the cougars. Finally, I literally have only just started this. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. Forgot to actually time how long I'm playing for. I guess I'll just wing it. I'll see how far I get. Alright, that's all done. We want those ones, don't we? We want plane striders and the swoops. Want more of the swoops. Oh. Luckily, these quests are a lot closer together than the Alliance side. I've got the femurs. There's one over there. I've got the walls. Got that. That wolf. God, those things are going to attack me, aren't they? I'll just charge right in there. Maybe I'll get lucky. Oh yeah, I did get lucky. That's alright. Alright. Alright, so got all them. I need more oh, the Grim Totems. Now, where are the swoops? So the swoops are normally around here. Actually, because I have to go there anyway. And there. So I'll go to that area. Just get around these guys. Hopefully no one attacks me. No one attacks me? Yep, no one's attacking me. I think with the warrior, the aggro range seems to be a bit smaller. Seems to be getting away with a lot more. Alright, we'll go. There we go. And chip them off. Oh, there's another swoop. Swoop. Alright, let's go for it. Let's go for the swoop. Actually, I didn't need to kill it. Did I need to kill it? Oh, yeah. Alright, come on, Swoopy. Alright, Swoopy's dead. Alright, so let's go. If I don't see any more swoops, I'll go up here. So this is the area I want to head to. There's another Swoopy. Swoopies are very all over the place, aren't they? How much meats do I have? Oh, that's 10 shrine meat. Yeah, that's one I'm going to need to find Kyle. Bloody Kyle. Bloody Kyle. Alright. There's another swoopy. Swoopy, swoop, swoop. It's just a swoop episode. It's all about the swoops. Alright. There's another swoop. Well, there's a lot of swoops over here. There's a gazelle too. Let's kill the gazelle. Let's kill it. Let's kill this freaking gazelle. No one likes gazelles anyway. I mean, the thing that gazelles are good about is Lion King. That movie's coming out soon. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out in live action. Can't wait. Can't wait to be king once more. Alright. So I've got all my swoops, and now we just relax and have a sip of coffee. We auto run and not aggro or anything, because I'm not a fighter, only if I have to. Alright. So yeah, if anyone's got any comments or what you want me to do in the game, just let me know. I'm very open to ideas. It's going to be a bit of a grind, so it'll be good to jazz it up with professions and what areas you want me to go to. I think that's a big one, because once you get out of this zone here, it's kind of diverse where you can go to. So if anyone has any ideas, go away. Let me know in the comments. So if this video or the first video gets more than 20 views, 20 likes, or 20 comments, I will make another part. So we can just keep on going like that until people will get bored of it. So because I'm a... Ah, this is the wrong place. Yeah, this is the wrong place. Just to go there. Silly Dave. Went to the wrong place. Bouncy, bouncy. There it is. There's those witches. Bloody harpies. Alright, let's kill the harpies. I can't remember where harpies come from in the lore of WoW. Pretty sure they've got something to do with night owls. Everything has got something to do with the highborn and the night owls. Bloody night owls just going around causing chaos. Well, I guess if you're around for like 10,000 plus years, you're bound to like cause chaos in the world. Alright. How are we looking? Not good. Well, let's move that there. That might be useful later on. Luckily, one thing I don't need to worry about with a warrior is my health. The regen seems to be really good, mainly because of my victory rush. But it gives health, right? If memory serves me right? Yeah, it gives health. So, as long as I keep the fighting up, I never run out of health and never need food. I mean, back in the day where you do a couple of fights and then you just have to sit down for an hour and freaking heal. It's very frustrating. But I guess that was part of the game. It's kind of why you enjoyed it. I think the downtime with Classic WoW was a lot more enjoyable, I would say, because it was a lot more social focused. Because there was so much downtime, everyone kind of related and everyone would talk to each other a lot more. It'll be interesting if it ever comes back. I think it's not really going to come back unless they basically make it WoW 2. If they eliminate a lot of the casual aspects of WoW, such as flying. I think, though the concept was good with flying, and I enjoyed it when you first got it in BC. It was just after a while, when everything got flying, it kind of, became a little bit too easy. You didn't need to grind through to get to a certain location anymore. You could just fly above everything, drop down on the main guy you had to kill and just kill him. And I do understand that they put in those restrictions with new zones that you can't fly in them until later on in content releases. But it just loses something, I reckon. You don't really get any great stories anymore, and the frustrations are not like, it's not too difficult. Like, who really dies in the opening zone anymore? I remember it used to be a common thing, and you learn so many more, so much more from dying in the zones than what you did now. It's like if I was a new player and I was going through it right now and I haven't died yet, I wouldn't know the mechanics of it. I'm nearly level 10 and I still don't know the mechanics of what happens when you die. So I think it does definitely dumb it down, and I know that kind of argument's been overplayed a lot, and a lot of people have mentioned it before. But it's a glaring problem, and I think Classic will kind of bring that back. And the problem with Classic is I didn't really like how Blizzard came out and said, like, no one wants it. You think you want it, but you don't. And then all these illegal servers started popping up, and then they just shut them down. It's like, guys, the audience is telling you what they want. The audience is there in your face telling you, hey, we want this. And you guys have the capacity of trying to make it work. You guys are a big company. At first you said a lot of things have changed. A lot of the software that you use, a lot of the hardware that you used back in the day has changed, the coding, everything. So there's no way to do it. But if 3 or 4 guys can do it, people, 3 or 4 people in their own time can do it, I'm pretty sure a company of your size should be able to arrange it. And they finally caved in and said, yeah, we'll do it. Because this game is an old game. You have to adapt to the market and have to adapt to what the audience wants. And if you keep going out there and telling the audience what they should want. It's never going to work. I mean, it may have used to work, but nowadays with social media, with so many voices on the internet, and so many YouTube followers of people being able to put out content and say their opinion, and people are like, hey, it makes a good point. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot more people are kind of on the same page with it. Don't know why I was going with that rant, but the point of the matter is it's like that new Diablo mobile game. They're just like, yes, mobile is what the audience wants. We're going to give it to them, but they don't realize, no, that's not what your audience wanted. That may be where the mainstream is going to and where a lot of money is, but a lot of the money comes from indie developers developing those apps because they put a lot of time and care into it, and it's their passion in that, and they don't have previous content they can model it over. And then then Blizzard came up with that app, and that Diablo game, and everyone doesn't want it. Everyone's come out, it's like, no, we don't want this. And Blizzard's turned around, it's like, no, we're going to do it anyway. It's like, you're alienating your audience. You're alienating the ones that got you to your platform. The fact that you can have your own con is because of PC players. I mean, your game was founded on PC. It baffles me, the fact of, you see so many big companies right now getting so much hate for anti-consumering practices, such as EA. EA is a big one. I think the pinnacle of that was obviously the Battlefront 2 loot box kind of debacle. That was the pinnacle of what not to do. And then they did the Command & Conquer one as well, which just sank. Just was not a good idea. What else did you have? There's probably so many examples you can list off, and most of them come from EA. The new Anthem game is a good kind of... Destiny kind of did the same thing as well, where they released an undeveloped product. And that's one thing Blizzard had always prided themselves in, not releasing under developed project. And that's why they cancelled. I think they cancelled StarCraft Ghost under that kind of idea. Also, I think Warcraft Adventures, it was a point and click one. It's just the fact that it just wasn't working for them. And they cancelled it. But nowadays, companies don't do that. They don't typically cancel games unless something dramatic happens. There's Kyle. Come on, bloody Kyle. I'm going to chase Kyle for a while. Yeah, Blizzard just released. Blizzard had the stones to do that, and I think the most successful indie developers at the moment right now really are passionate about the game they're creating. A good example is that Rise to Ruin. So there we go, buddy. Come on. There we go. I fed Kyle. Good Kyle. Let's pet Kyle. Pet him, Kyle. Thanks, Kyle. Dance for me, Kyle. Dance. Yeah, Kyle. Alright. If you guys out there, look up Rise to Ruin. It's a good indie game, and the developer, I'm actually part of his Twitter and I'm part of his Discord chat, and he's so engaging and loves his game, and he's continuously putting updates, and the game's like 3-4 years old, and it's just him working on it. And you just see the passion from him, and the fact of he admits when things go wrong. He's very vocal with his audience and figuring out what his audience actually wants. And I really respect that, and I think that kind of culture is going to hopefully feed through to the mainstream, where the mainstream games are going to start changing of the way they kind of approach things, really. But at the moment, because they earn so much money for it, I mean, it's going to take something very dramatic to sink these very strict AAA companies to change their mentality. I think you're seeing that at Riot Games at the moment with the protesting and the policies they have there. You're starting to see a lot of change, and it's positive change and it's good change. But the question whether that flows onto their games is, who really knows? It's really hard to say a AAA developer that you still kind of know that they're quality and that they are still producing the best product they can possibly produce. Blizzard's definitely not in that ballpark like anymore. Cinematic-wise, magnificent. They should really make a proper CG movie.
Can you find my dog?
I already did.
Traveler?
But yeah, the cinematics are beautiful, and I understand probably one cinematic, like the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, that probably cost them what, $100,000 just to make that like couple-minute clip. And a movie is a different beast than the live-action movie. I did enjoy the live-action movie. The Warcraft live-action movie. I probably wouldn't have made it so. This is my proposal for a Warcraft, and it shouldn't honestly be a movie. It should be a TV series, and it should be a 10-part series, one on the Horde side and one on the Alliance side of the First War. So that way you can actually convey the more sympathetic side of the Horde, but more focus on they were actually the bad guys. They converted to Fel, and they used Fel to mess up Azeroth. I mean, in the movie they try to make it seem like the orcs weren't that willing; they were just manipulated by one person. Which, when you look at the lore, it's kind of true. But it was more like, I don't think a lot of the orcs were against it. And they kind of teased too much of like the Dorotar relationship, and Lothar and Dorotar kind of being all buddy-buddy. Dorotar? It was Dorotar is the region. They made them too buddy-buddy, and I didn't like that. I don't think they met. Pretty sure they didn't meet in actual lore, that they actually met. And they should have. I mean, if you do a Horde series and Alliance series, you don't have to make the 10 parts all about the war. You could do the first 5 parts as the kind of setting up the war or doing all that, figuring out the relationships to the first initial conflict. Because according to lore, it wasn't the fact of the portal just opened and the Horde came through. They had the Horde, and there were raiding parties on Azeroth for many years. I believe many years or many months, as kind of scouting kind of attacks. And then they opened the big portal and everyone came through. Oh no, the portal was already open, they were just kind of slowly flowing through. And then a big army came through and invaded Azeroth. So it wasn't so all of a sudden like they made it out to be in the Warcraft movie. And I think that's what they too much focused on. They focused on they try to compact too much time and too many events in a short period of time in the movie. Like the corruption of Medivh, that was a more kind of, that wasn't just an all of a sudden thing. He was corrupted for a while, and depending on if you read the comics, if you read the actual books, or you just go off the lore that's in the game, there's very conflicting of when the corruption actually started. I mean, in the comics, he has a child who becomes the new Guardian, but they completely recon that in the game. So, what's actually true, what's actually false? Who knows, really? But that's what they do. They should make like a 20-part series, but divide them into Horde and Alliance, but make them run concurrently. Yes, there'll be a little bit of crossover. Then there'll be ultimate crossover in the later episodes that you can see the different perspectives. Because that's what the war was about. It was two sides with two different kind of reactions. Because, spoiler alert, in the First War, and this is what it bothered me about the movie, in the First War, the Alliance lost. The Storm and Keep got raided and destroyed, and then they had to go on to Lordaeron. And that's what the second one was about, was them basically fighting back, pushing them all the way to the Dark Portal, and then going beyond the Dark Portal, as the sequel of Warcraft 2 kind of showed. And that's what I didn't like. They didn't commit to that, and it felt a little bit underserving of, like, you made the Alliance the good guys, but they weren't the good guys. I mean, they were the good guys in the fact that they were defending themselves, but they weren't the only good guys in this. I don't know how to convey that properly. there was more story to tell on both sides, and Medivh was clearly on the Alliance side, but he was corrupt and he was twisted by Fel as well, and they did convey that slightly. It would be interesting as well is that if they did make that companion series, that TV series, it does give them the benefit of doing another series later down the line of the Night Elves history, or even the formation of Azeroth, because when the Night Elves were introduced, they had already, from a lore perspective, been living in this world for many thousands of years, and they had played a huge part on why the orcs, the Horde, did invade Azeroth. There's so much potential for the Warcraft story to be shown on a different media, media. But for some reason they don't do it. It's very frustrating, to be honest. I do think the time is right for a StarCraft adaptation. I think the StarCraft, especially how the whole Starship Troopers kind of died down, and people would make a lot of comparisons to it, and I do know they're trying to start up Starship Troopers again, but you need to come out with StarCraft first and make that work. Otherwise, it will just come off as another rip-off of Starship Troopers, which there must be a there must be a kind of connection there, for us to be honest, because I mean the Zerg and the bugs, the insects, look very similar, but the lore behind the Zerg and the Protoss is really good, and definitely it's I mean the lore with the Zerg and the Protoss are very elvy kind of like, and I think people are already familiar with elves in fantasy, and Protoss could be displayed as very elvy like space kind of guys, and the Zerg could be just, you know, the classic kind of Horde, but once you start diving in it, once you introduce Kerrigan, and once you show that kind of corruption and the fact of they are essentially just a species just trying to survive and just trying to live, a little bit more brutally than probably some people would portray them as, and they obviously will be rated as the bad guys, but I think the most interesting stories are normally the bad guys. The bad guys have the history. I mean, it's easy to be good. It's like, why did you do this? Because it's the right thing to do. It's pretty simple, but when you ask a bad guy, why do you do this? Most of the time they have a justification behind it. They don't go, this is the bad thing to do. There's kind of a balance there. But yeah, I think that would be really cool, and they've dived into it, they've put the toes in it, but I think with the way things are going at the moment, with the games and the decline, that they do have a huge opportunity to start pushing that market, especially streaming. They could effectively stream it themselves, the TV series themselves, and make their own little network. So like if you've got a WoW subscription, you also have access to this TV show. That would be a nice little tie-in, or maybe they stop making WoW subscription based and they actually just have a Blizzard subscription. So instead of paying for World of Warcraft, you get World of Warcraft plus the TV series, plus everything behind the scenes, plus old games, maybe free access to Warcraft 1 or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. I think we're going to leave that there, guys. We've done a really impressive job, and I've really gone into a bit of a rant there, so I'm glad I talked about all that. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about. If you do want me to make another part, if this video gets 20 likes, comments, or comments, and or part 1 gets that much, I will make another part. So let me know what you guys think. And until next time, my name's Dave.